Hello, all you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there. This is Dragothien, and today we have a follow-up to our previous video. Kind of, I don't know, not ranting, and again, it wasn't a video to complain. I'm not a complainer. I don't tend to complain. I tend to try and get fixes. I tend to try and get solutions for things in the game for the community and for myself. And literally a day or two after we had our video out about maybe making some changes to the Wheel of Fortune, to MGE. Some people didn't like the MGE portion of it. I still kind of do, but it has to do with pay to win versus free to play and all that good stuff, which I totally get. But definitely the Wheel of Fortune, the gold key commanders, the daily chest, things like that. We had mentioned that it may make more sense to make choice chests the solution, or at least the next step for this game, because there's so many commanders out there now, and unless you are a heavy spender, there's no way to max them all. I'm a heavy spender, and I don't have them maxed, all of them maxed. So I can only imagine if you're putting $100 a month into the game, or you've only put $100 total into the game, or you put nothing into the game, how difficult it is to max even one or two or three of these quality commanders that you need to have on the battlefield to be a presence. So I don't know if it was yesterday, I think it might have been this morning or the day before, on the Chinese servers, I had a couple people, and one in particular that I trust a lot, message me and send me this picture. And I don't read Chinese. I don't pretend that I do, but I have people that I know that do. So let me kind of read what this says and summarize what it is, because it's a direct, not response, but it directly is relating to the video that we just did about some changes that I thought we should make in the game to help make it better. So, the conversation with my friend here starts off, seems your rant may have worked. Suppose new update coming to Chinese and international servers, possibly on the 25th of January, which is this guy right here, this date here. You can choose the commander of the daily chest yourself. The only commanders you can choose are the ones you have, and the number of commanders you can choose will increase depending on the history of the kingdom. Also, mentions Lucky Wheel, or in this case, Wheel of Fortune, so could also be added to Wheel of Fortune. The full text translation reads, number one, well, first off, the stuff before number one. So the daily special package has always been welcomed by the Archons. In order to further optimize their purchase experience, the daily special package will be included in the Gong Pot New Year version, tentatively scheduled to be updated around 125. Adjust as follows. Number one, daily specials will add a self-selection function. After the update, the hot political officer that's the way it's translated, but it's fun. So the hot political officer can select the favorite in the self-selection list, the commander's treasure chest, for purchase. So to me, what this means is when you buy the daily, right? Before there was a sequence in order. You had to wait until you unlocked the previous commanders before you could get to Frederick and Mehmed. You had to unlock and max El Cid before you get to Julius Caesar, or YSG, which is the last commander in the sequence. And the only reason I know that is because I've maxed all the daily commanders, and that's what shows up on my main account. So that's number one. That's pretty sweet. And for accounts that want to go more infantry based, this is a great thing, because the first commander on most of these things are going to be Double C, whereas the next one after that is Charles. And a Charles is a must-have. Double C you can probably do without, or you don't necessarily need to max him if you've got his third skill maxed. You can kind of use him the way you want to use him without having to necessarily max him, but you can do it either way. But with this new change, evidently you can pick which one you want. So you can pick YSG possibly, or Charles first, or Frederick, or something like that. Mehmed even, if you're a heavy city rallier. So that's number 1. Number 2, the optional list will gradually increase the optional commanders based on the history of the kingdom. Lucky Wheel event, the commander will enter the daily special self-selection list within a period of time after the end of the 3 rounds and actually enter the self-selection list. The time is subject to the official situation of the kingdom where you live. So again, it seems to me this is referring to the Wheel of Fortune, and I may be reading too much into this, but it seems that it's going to be kind of like Card King, where at the beginning of the event, you can select which commander up to your kingdom's available commanders, up to what you want to choose. So if you are at Tamiris, for instance, you can select Tamiris, Alex, or Genghis. I think that's the way it would work. Or, the previous Gold Key commanders, which I think the only Gold Key commander you would want to do it for the first 4, Charles would maybe be it. All the other ones I really wouldn't recommend spending wheel money on. Nope. Charles is a MGE commander. Okay, so yeah, YSG and Richard is also a choice. That's awesome. Very, very good. I love it. Well done. So hopefully that's the case. And again, that kind of coincides with what we were talking about, making a choice chest based on the age of the kingdom. Now, the thing that I don't see in here yet, and I'll read number 3 in just a second, is the research and the building speed ups. That's something that we directly referenced and something that was a major point that I made in my previous video. I don't see this in any of the text here, but this is a huge step so far, assuming this is translated correctly and it gets implemented correctly, towards not free to play necessarily, but lower spenders, because you have to spend gems to spend the wheel, and usually that entails some kind of spending. Same thing with the daily choice chests. The only way to get those is by purchasing those choice chests every day or on a particular day. So you got to spend a little bit, but this will help the lower to mid spenders who spend a very small amount, or as I like to say on this channel, very efficiently, to get these commanders max, because otherwise, again, you're using universals, and universals are so expensive. Okay, number 3. Archon. Again, I'm not sure. The translation here is a little rough. Archon can only choose the commander's treasure chest included in the current self-selection list and the daily special to purchase. So again, I'm assuming that's saying that you can't get Zenobia in the daily choice chest. You only can pick the commanders that are in the loot table for the daily choice chest. So again, that includes all of the first 4 MGE commanders, the gold key commanders. It includes Frederick, Mehmed, Julius Caesar, and evidently YSG and Richard as well, with the latest additions and patches previous. But I'm not 100% on Richard, but definitely YSG, because he's the one that shows up on my main account. By the self-selection list will only change the history of the kingdom. Thank you for your great support of Awakening. What? It says Awakening of Nations. I'm assuming it's Rise of Kingdoms. And I wish you a happy game. It's what that reads. So, short translated version, Daily Choice Chess Commander now pickable, no longer gated by El Cid, which is, I think, what we referenced on number 1. Number 2, Wheel Commander automatically enters into Daily Chess Selection after 3 appearances on Wheel. Oh, okay. So the way it's being read on the layman's term translation is, if there's a Wheel Commander, you're not going to be able to choose. You're still going to have to go through the whole rigmarole, all right? But once the Wheel Commander is done with the 3 appearances on the wheel, so every commander on the Wheel of Fortune gets three pop-ups or whatever, alongside of usually a universal somewhere sprinkled in there, depending on your kingdom. That commander will then be in the loot table, which is interesting, because that would mean Edward is now in the daily choice chest. That would mean Alex is now in the daily choice chest. That would mean Harold will now be in the daily choice chest. That means a lot of commanders, like Ramses is a must-have, is now going to be in the daily choice chest. I might actually start purchasing the daily choice chest on my main again, specifically for this reason. In fact, I will. 100% chance I will. That's an easy way to not have to use universals and get these commanders. Fantastic. Okay, it'll take a long time. Let's be honest, it'll take a long time because usually you'll get anywhere, if you buy all 3 choice chests every day, you'll usually get anywhere between 1 or 2 up to 10, usually on average. And obviously with 690 sculptures needed to max a commander, substantial amount of time. We're talking half a year to a year, but you can do it. You can do it. It's faster. A step in the right direction, I think. And number 3, daily chest selection depends on kingdom age instead of account age. So again, it's locked into where you are, not where you started, which is good, again, because you want to keep it as even and fair as possible. All right, so that's that. This is a good step, guys. Assuming this is implemented the way I want, and again, there's more, right? I think based on my previous video, there should be more to this, and maybe they're doing baby steps, starting with the gold sculptures and working their way to resources and more specifically, speed ups. Maybe they're working their way there. It's kind of funny when we've gone on a rant, right? Like the YSG change, and with this rewards change, and I think I did a rant on Garden of Infinity. There's a couple just different obvious things that we needed to have changed or fixed or something. There's been an immediate, and I have no inside information on this stuff, guys. I am a sponsored content creator for Rise of Kingdoms, but they don't pass this stuff by me. I'm not part of the development team. I had no idea about this stuff coming. So, and that's with I don't want to speak for everybody. I was just gonna say for me, I don't get it. I don't get that stuff. Maybe some other bigger content creators get this information and get to weigh in, but I don't. So, that being said, some good changes coming, I think. Again, it's if you drill down, right? If you drill down into it, this is another way for Lilith to make money. Okay? But it's a good way. I would say it's a good way for them to make money and help the player base start maxing some of these commanders, because I know people who've played for 2 years and they're still stuck on their 5th legendary commander, 4th legendary commander, because it's expensive. It's expensive to get these commanders maxed out, especially the MGE commanders, because it's so difficult, unless you're in a really dead kingdom, to get enough sculptures from the MGE to do any sizable impact to maxing an MGE commander. So usually you're stuck spending your universals on your MGE commander and using a ton of money to get as much as you can out of the wheel commanders, and then you're still going to be putting in 400-ish sculptures to max a wheel commander. So it all stacks up. This will help, although again, it's not, and this is fine, in my opinion, this is fine. It doesn't need to be instant, right? If you want instant, that's why you heavy spend, right? That's why you're going to heavy spend. If you want efficient and you want best value for your money, then it's going to take longer. That's the whole point. Nobody needs to have T5 day 5, right, of a kingdom, or nobody needs to have T5 before, a free-to-play would normally get T5, which, if you're in a good alliance, is, from my understanding, about a year and some change to get T5 tech and a good amount of troops and things like that. So, good change if this is the case. And whether, I'm not so big-headed to think that my video had any impact. It's just oddly when these rants go on, usually there's some kind of change following. So, I think it's probably more to do with the player base than me. I think I'm just probably saying the things that the player base is saying to customer service. And again, Lilith is listening and responding. Sometimes they respond favorably. Sometimes they respond not so favorably. This is a favorable response, in my opinion. So I like this change. I like this hopefully upcoming thing. We're looking at about 2 weeks, right? 14, 22. Yeah, a little over 2 weeks. A little over 2 weeks before we get, hopefully, this New Year's event, which will also do the changes that we just described in the video. I hope you have enjoyed this video and are looking forward to, again, hopefully the changes that are listed here. Maybe they'll make some adjustments to the speed ups and all that good stuff that we had talked about on the last video. Maybe they won't, but at least this is a piece of that positive step in the right direction. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.